What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Guerrilla Media Network. That's right, folks. I finally did it. I've been talking about it for months. All the podcasts that I do, they're all in one place. It is under the umbrella of Guerrilla Media Network. It's all in one RSS feed. You can find all the shows that we do. There's The Morning Hangover, this show. There's Pitches and Shows. There's the JCP Sports Experience. And probably many more because, as many people know, I host 2,452 podcasts. I feel like I do anyway. So this is The Morning Hangover. We haven't done this one in a month, probably about a little over a month. This is just our free-for-all podcast. We just talk about whatever we want, whatever comes to mind. And, Andrew Gomez is here with, like, his quarterly visit to my home to do these shows.
That's funny.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about something that we all have been dealing with as adults, is our political views.
So we're about a year into Donald Trump's presidency.
We're over a year at this point.
So we've been thinking, where were we when the nominations and everything, the debates were going on?
Yeah, this is like we wanted to kind of compare how we felt pre-election versus coming up to midterms. How we feel now,
right?
In that 2-year span. And I mean, if anybody in particular want to go first?
Well, I think it'd be really nice to start with what was the first candidate you wanted to vote for, and I'm talking debate. And then go.
Well, I mean, like from the beginning, like the
beginning to now.
Yeah,
when we had all of our
when we had all the candidates on the table,
candidates
and three Democrats.
4 Democrats. When really, there was only 2 Democrats running. And one of them wasn't even really a Democrat.
Hey, back off. He was one of mine at one point.
Seriously, if he would have just taken socialist out of the name, things would have been so much different for him.
Bernie?
Yeah.
Again, you literally said off the mic that he lost because the DNC fucked him over.
Oh, I agree.
Well, yeah, he did, but he had the millennial vote for sure. But
yeah,
I am a hardcore. I mean, I'm a Republican, and I would have voted for Bernie if he would have made it. I have no problem admitting that. And I think that
I tell you to come closer to the mic. You don't come closer at all.
I did. Whatever.
You can take it off the stand if you want. It's a longer one.
Just pretend like it doesn't look like a dick. That makes it easier for me.
I really do think that maybe something happened with the DNC and something went screwy, but
The DNC did not want him as their candidate.
I would agree with that. Well, I mean, like I said also right after that, the Clintons run that party. If you're not a Clinton, you don't matter. The Democratic Party.
I
feel like.
I mean, now trust. We'll get to that later.
Well, yeah. I mean,
now it's a whole different ballgame.
It's very true. It's very true that it's more of a. It's very much a Clinton thing. I mean, you saw everybody saw the emails. Everybody saw how they ran things like that. But I agree with you. Socialism killed him. Yeah. It didn't kill him with our generation, with millennials, but it definitely
everyone else.
It made him a laughingstock to any other political party or anybody else that knows politics.
Yeah, any other age group besides millennials was fucked.
Because for some weird reason,
they hear the word socialist and shut down.
No, it's just the millennials think that socialism is fucking great, when in reality, on paper, sure, socialism sounds fucking awesome, but in practice, it's awful. It's terrible. And I was one of those, believe it or not, I was one of those people in high school. I was one of those people that was like, socialism isn't this bad. Why wouldn't we do this? Capitalism is blah, 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 blah. And then, I always encourage people to do this with any type of politics, just for your benefit, to not make yourself sound stupid. Please educate yourself. Go find things and educate yourself. Because when I did educate myself about socialism, I found out it was stupid. And nobody should ever want to support that. And
okay,
that's what hurt Bernie. Everybody was like, free stuff.
First off, I do agree with you.
But I like Bernie.
But I'm playing devil's advocate here. What would you say is the second most successful country as opposed to the United States? What would you say would be...
Oh, God, I don't know.
What would you say would be an up-and-comer country?
Up-and-comer? Or, I mean, the U.S. is not the number one world power anymore.
Okay.
We haven't been for a while.
China is by far the most prosperous country.
China is a socialist country.
That is almost an authoritarian country.
But
okay, that is a wild claim right there.
It's not that. No, it's not.
No.
Adam,
China has an app that makes you applaud the supreme leader. Like it is like he's not far off. It's not a
Adam, they
free country.
Just changed it so you can have a second child because the
killing your baby.
ratio
No, I knew
is
that.
like
I read a
I
comic
think it's
about
like
that, by the way. but-
5 men or something ridiculous like
Yeah.
that to every 1 woman.
I don't think it's that far off. It might be a little bit.
I mean, it is an exaggeration.
I know it's
obviously,
I know it's extreme. Like I know
he
but-
might be wrong. I mean, I don't think they're like full dictatorship, but just ignore it. Tell her you're busy.
No, I can't.
Is it the reach?
Honestly, I would have. I don't know. I would have voted. I'm with you. I would have voted for Bernie no matter what.
We're back in.
Yeah. Anybody. I mean, I had the mindset of anybody but Trump or Clinton. That
I think the entire country did it. with
But
the exception
honestly,
of-
for me though, when it came down to it, like I was pretty pro-Trump. Hear me out. For
oh yeah, no, we heard you out the entire.
but I mean,
I'm not going to harass you about this.
But like the thing is, I was pro-Trump because I was just so sick of the previous political agendas that it was almost refreshing to potentially see somebody who is not encumbered by the money. And I've come to realize that might not be as much as it did not pan out the way I had hoped. But I was really hoping for basically a reset button against what a normal political agenda was, because you had this person who was already well established, and honestly it didn't really matter for him, and I was hoping that maybe we could just turn things around into.
Would you say that you were one of them who got caught up in wanting to see Trump as a reincarnation of Reagan? Because a lot of people did.
I that thought never crossed my mind. I simply saw him as someone who was not a typical politician.
He stole a slogan.
And
He did a lot of things. Too.
I saw him as someone who was potentially just not a normal politician that didn't have to play maybe the political game of Washington and didn't have to, scratch somebody's back to get his back scratched in the sense that he wouldn't be tied to some of those lobbyists to get reelected. You know what I mean?
Right. And now, while we're on the subject of that, I do want to take a quick moment and say that
Quick commercial break.
anybody who on the left side immediately says "fuck you" if you voted for Trump, a lot of people voted for Trump for the exact same reason that Gomez just said, and you need to give them the fact that they had their interests in mind. Not
It goes back to the old.
And like I said, I would have voted for Bernie if he was there.
Well, it goes back to the thing that
well, yeah.
I've always said, and whether some people choose to believe what I think about it or not, I fully believe that Trump is a racist, but I don't think people that voted for him are racist. I think people.
Well, MLK's nephew said it best. Trump's a racist, but not in the traditional sense. He doesn't
He doesn't
realize.
understand that he's. The whole Puerto Rico thing to me was prime example. He doesn't know how racist he is, and my whole thing is, you can piggybacking off what you guys said. It was a thing of this. A lot of people in this country felt disenfranchised.
I did.
And somebody got into his ear and said, as bad as she is at giving interviews, she's a great campaign strategist. And I imagine Kellyanne got in his ear. I can't remember exactly when she came on the campaign, but she said, I'm pretty sure her main thing was, this is the group that you have to tap into. You have to go after these blue-collar, Midwest-type people who feel like Obama and Hillary and all these guys treated them like shit, and you got to jump in there and get them going.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was majority of his voting
Yep,
base.
that's absolutely correct.
Iowa, traditionally a blue state,
Always.
almost full
Always
red.
a blue state. Yeah.
But red,
Well, yeah, but but you also have to keep in mind that Iowa's the first swing state that you visit as a candidate. So his campaign immediately knew when it came off right there that his top Republican opposition at that point.
But what other?
Sorry, that's hurting me to say was Bush. Because I really, really, really wanted
you
Jeb.
really wanted Jeb.
I-
for
honestly,
whatever
if
reason.
Jeb-
you love the Bushes,
I do
man.
too. I'm all
Did you
for
like
Adams.
HW?
I wanted so
I
bad.
honestly don't know much about HW.
Yeah, you were a baby when he was.
Yeah.
I honestly
I
wanted
wasn't even
Jeb to
thought of
just
it.
be able to debate even just a little bit.
Yeah, he just
The problem is
it seemed like he didn't care.
Felt like with Jeb, he was running with a 10-pound backpack. Like
no,
there was
but
just
he didn't know what he wanted to do. That was his biggest problem. Was like, first off, he came out saying, "Yeah, my name's Bush, but I don't want to be associated with my family." And then when he realized that he was going to lose
Then when he was
Trump,
then he was getting his ass kicked. He's like,
know-
hey George, can you help?
And honestly, I was also originally really pro.
George and his mom, I think H got involved.
Why can't I think of his
He doesn't
name?
know where he's at.
Why am I drawing a blank here? I know who I want to say. neurosurgeon. Why am I?
Why were you on Ben? Don't tell me you liked Ben Carson.
I wanted to because it was like, oh, here's this very educated man. He's in the health field.
My parents actually like
And then he said pyramids were grain silos, and I had
People who
to.
don't know that much about politics.
for Joseph, right?
I don't know. I
feel a
just.
lot
There was a biblical figure that he associated with the.
It was Moses, wasn't it?
I want to say it was Joseph.
Because Moses was the one.
There was just a few things that I had to go.
This road doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, like we're kind of grasping at straws with that. But it's like, I feel like the people that like Ben Carson don't necessarily follow politics that well because he was a god awful politician, and
He's quiet.
Yeah.
well, it's like when you and I were talking about that one time. It's one of those things where someone is so smart in one field of study doesn't make them smart in other things.
We clearly learned
An
that.
example of that.
That was a
Chair
that was a joke inspirational post that was you could be really shitty at one thing but really great at another thing. Keep in mind, Ben Carson was a great brain surgeon. He literally dissected Siamese twins connected at the head, and he's an awful politician. So maybe you're not Ben Carson the politician.
Did you ever see his
Maybe you're Ben Carson.
the neurosurgeon?
Is he still Secretary of HUD?
Yes,
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware.
Like going back to like the main topic
Yeah,
discussion
sorry.
of like where we were during this time, I felt I didn't feel like the disenfranchised people that voted for Trump, but I was very much behind Bernie because I felt Bernie had brought a certain.
I think he
was
cared.
a crotchety old man that was pissed off at everybody, and he was the guy that kind of like Trump. And this is the thing is like people don't understand how similar Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump are. They're very very similar.
That would be a great, what are they, kind of like a catfish clickbait thumbnail. Bernie Sanders and Trump are the
But
same.
dude, I mean, if you look,
Let's hear it. Let's talk.
They are. They're very the same. They're both two guys that are. Well, Bernie's been in government, sure, but he's an independent. He's not a Democrat. He comes in this party. He attacks his own party several times.
Right.
And Trump's doing the same thing.
Well, the difference is, first off, Bernie is a career politician.
Well, you're trying to show me something. I thought. Oh no, you're just saying
He was just.
I was confirming that.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Carson was. Right. Bernie is a career politician. He's been in politics his whole life.
Yeah, but I don't exactly know the exact policies, but some of their policies are very, very similar, especially when it comes to economics. Not necessarily on the socialist side of things, but
They're both old.
they're both
crazy hair.
crotchety, angry men. One's
worth, several $1 million.
One's a little bit darker than the other.
One's a darker pure.
Pure baby oil. But yeah, I was on Team Sanders. But the thing is, the more that it went on, the more I kind of strayed from Bernie because there was something about him where
I felt like Bernie kept getting just more pissed off and a little crazier as the election went.
everybody did, man. I mean, look what Gary Johnson had to do, sticking his tongue out and doing crazy shit just to get some sort of.
I almost voted for Gary Johnson
Looking
just
at him,
because, just so that the independents would maybe get some funding.
Well, that's at that point. That's the reason most of us did. Also, a lot of us independents. I mean, I wouldn't say independents, but a lot of us voted for who supported our policies, what we wanted.
It was a little bit of. I'll be honest. It was also a protest vote.
Mine was not.
I liked Gary, but it was also a thing where I knew he wasn't going to win. And
Right.
I know
Oh,
some
sorry.
people think my vote was a throwaway, and they think, well, this is your fault why Trump got elected. And I was like,
But at the same time,
fuck off, okay?
But at the same time, if the Libertarian Party would have hit 5%, they get federal funding for the campaign, which
If it said a consolation, your vote would not have got us to 5%.
no, it would not have. I checked.
Well, it's also
We weren't
another
gonna
thing.
hit
It's
that.
like, so, I mean, if you're going to give me shit about it, if we're going to go by technicalities, Hillary won by 3 million votes on the popular vote. So don't tell me that my vote didn't fucking matter when she just lost the Electoral College. It's not my fault that she's a very unlikable candidate.
Well, us as independent voters in Nebraska had nothing to do.
No, not in Nebraska. Iowa and Nebraska, they were settled. They were gonna go red. There was no.
But here's the weird
stop.
thing: you ever look at the Nebraska map? It is all red minus the district that contains Omaha.
I know we talked about this actually the last time.
Yeah, but
we
I
were on this
was
show.
in Grand Island at the time. Just wanted to you know.
Oh yeah, you weren't in Omaha.
But anyway, back to our real main point.
I technically live in
I would like to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Iowa.
You know, at this point now, Trump's approval rating is 41.2%. And I almost feel more
Is it really
distant.
that high? I guess I haven't checked it in like a few weeks.
That's
It's gone up a little bit. Yeah.
this is the
It
highest.
was like 30 something.
highest it's been in 8 months.
So sad.
So basically, you know, pretty much after he was, inaugurated,
We're out to the tax breaks. Everybody's like, oh.
which actually I really hate this tax plan. It's great now, but it'll be great for me in 10 years. Because I'll be making better money, but it's gonna suck ass for everyone else in 10 years.
Yeah,
The working class is gonna get boned in 10 years.
This is what I don't understand is,
I almost feel more disenfranchised now than I did at the beginning.
and that's what bothers me about this whole thing. It's like where it was now, where I am in the midterms. I don't know where I'm at anymore because
I'm all over the place.
I was so for Bernie and everything, and I was gung ho for him. And then when it didn't work out, I was like, when I started and realized.
I was looking up. I can't actually find his actual rating.
I think it was in July of 2016 when I started to realize when it was coming around time. It was like right after, because when the Republican National Convention was first. After that, and then the leaks came out that it's pretty much decided they were going with Hillary. That's when I started going with Gary Johnson.
How did that get started? I didn't look into the leaks as much as I should have. What happened?
I just knew that
Adam,
it
can you-
is 41.4.
there was some
Can
sort
you
of.
enlighten us more? I guess I didn't look into the leaks from the DNC as much as I should have. Can you enlighten what happened? How did the?
Do you know anything about it, or
I did at the time.
Do you remember can you sum it up in some words why Hillary Clinton was elected, even though that wasn't probably what they should have done? Do you need 5 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, if you give me 5 minutes, like stall.
But what happened with me there was I went to Gary Johnson because honestly, if I had to in my back pocket, in my mind, I was thinking if Barry doesn't get it, then I was going to go for John Kasich because I actually liked John Kasich.
Fair enough.
I thought Rubio was shitty.
Yeah.
I did not like.
You wanted to go Kasich over Bush?
I would have picked.
This was so far in the game.
Adam. By the end of it, Jeb was just.
Jeb was already out. By the time I decided if Bernie doesn't get it, I'm going for Kasich. I wouldn't have gone for Bush either way because Jeb did nothing.
Jeb was a terrible.
As someone who
Hell yeah, he would have killed baby Hitler.
Jeb, taking away that I know you and you like Jeb. Jeb did nothing for me as a voter where I was like, I want
agree.
that guy.
I tried to like him and I wanted to, but he was so
you guys got it.
uninspiring.
You got it.
Okay, all right.
Stop.
Just admit that he ran a shitty campaign.
Oh, I always would admit that.
He was the least pragmatic over. Christie was more entertaining to listen to debate than he was.
I don't know.
Oh god, I fucking hate Chris Christie. he's such a dick.
Jeb had a few good moments, like when he was when he's debating against Trump, but not many.
No.
But
I agree, Adam. I wanted to like him too. But anyway,
And that's another thing that Trump did in this whole cycle that, again, this is why it was such a big deal, is it made me more politically conscious, and it made, I think, a lot of people in our generation more politically conscious of what's going on. Good and bad. I think people freak out way too much.
I don't know if
Facebook.
I think it made more people politically conscious.
It did for me, for sure.
I mean, it did for me too, but at the same time, I think people are more just, I'm scared. Oh, I'm not safe. Oh,
Well, people freak out about everything, and it's just like we had that talk, when we did the net neutrality episode.
Well, we should talk about the UNL situation right now at some point.
I don't know what that is, but
Well, so there's this kid on UNL's campus who.
oh yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, it made me more politically conscious, but and it also made me notice that Trump was knocking these career politicians off their game because he's so down and he's not playing by the rules.
That's what I liked about him originally. That's why I was like, okay, good. We have someone that's not a normal politician. He's going to shake things up.
But at a certain point, it's like, okay, we get it with the jabs and the tweets and shit like that. But
And now
get down to real policy,
right?
And get down to real politics,
and that's what happened towards the end of the election. And now, I don't know where we're at. I don't really know where I stand anymore. And I think the longer this presidency is going on, the more I'm leaning left because I'm realizing how many people are truly getting left
so
behind.
basically, sorry, this is off subject, but back subject for 2 minutes ago. Basically, the whole DNC email links was that the head of the DNC, Debbie.
Is it Debbie Gorsuch? No, that's not right.
Gorsuch, isn't that a Supreme Court justice?
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that was. I took a shot.
You might have gotten away with it.
No, Gorsuch is a fucking.
Debbie
he's-
Wasserman.
Wasserman. Like I think Gorsuch is like the Republican Supreme Court guy. Fuck.
Basically, the leaks revealed that the DNC intentionally didn't give Sanders.
So the DNC was like, nah, fuck you, we're going with Clinton.
Yeah,
Right.
basically
They didn't give him a shot.
they
Which I really hope they realize they're like, oh shit, guys, we really messed up.
Well, I hope so too. But the problem with the DNC is the DNC decided that they wanted to go with a career politician, and the RNC was like, all right, well, if we're going to be, excuse me, if we're going to beat Clinton, we're going to go with somebody random.
But at the same time, like he just said, nobody could peg Trump. You couldn't touch him.
Nobody, even anything that would tank a normal politician, heat, weather, storm. I mean, bring up any fucking scandal in the last 2 years, and he's gotten through the grabbing by the pussy shit. How did he survive that? And
The other guy,
how did he?
The other guy who listened to it got fired.
Well, I don't want it to.
Everybody in Trump's campaign is
getting high on
everybody in Trump's
We're gonna scream. Come back here.
everybody in Trump's campaign has almost been fired. Like an FBI director, and he's still just like, it wasn't me.
But it's like, it's
For
the
the
thing,
record,
like
call me
anybody else
Fight
does.
the fight.
Anybody else says the grab her by the pussy, and you're right. Billy Bush got fired. Trump wins a fucking election. Like, what is this? What is going on? All I want, and like, I don't even. It's not even. And you said you're leaning more left. I'm somehow leaning more right, and I don't understand it. And I do a little bit because I hate SJW.
Well, because you started this election leaning more left, so you ended up going more right, and you started leaning more right, and you ended up going left.
And I think maybe that's because I'm just obviously starting my career in healthcare, and maybe so that is making me more.
Which honestly, that kind of surprises me because
Well, I mean,
I know Obamacare sucks.
Oh, it sucks ass. It sucks ass.
For healthcare officials. It doesn't suck ass for everyone.
I benefit from it.
You're not 26 yet.
But
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
I can ride that pony
here's
for 2 more years.
Well, they're right. I love that, and I love the pre-existing condition, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's not a
And-
great. It's not a
and
perfect.
basically
system.
what-
Tommy Lauren, how are you doing with Obamacare?
But I guess the reason I might be
That's a
pushing,
6-month-old joke.
I like what Jake said though. Like I am sick of SJWs. I think everyone's way too sensitive. Like you can't make a wrong facial expression
Oh, yeah.
now, and
What was that thing that Jake was complaining about today about SJW?
Well,
something about somebody with a food allergy.
It was the movie, the Peter Rabbit. There's a scene where the villain, he's allergic to blackberries. The rabbit somehow gets him to eat it,
Right.
and he swells up and has to have an EpiPen. And they're like, you should think about what you're putting in kids' movies and how you could bully people with these food allergies. And I'm like, first of all,
Never would have
this
thought.
is not the first fucking movie to do this gag. Second of all,
Oh.
you know what? Go eat a food allergy and go choke and die, you fucking moron. I'm so sick of this shit.
I agree.
The left is cannibalizing itself because we can't fucking offend anyone. We can't be funny anymore.
There are
Well,
so,
because the left doesn't see themselves as the Democratic Party. That's the whole thing. The
I
left.
saw-
It's not classically liberal at all.
I saw this pretty funny video,
I'm
and
with you there.
I saw this video on Facebook, and I pray to God it was fake, but
Cool.
it was about this.
yeah.
It was about this kid. It was about this kid's soccer league.
Get yourself 1, 2, 3.
It was about this kid's soccer league that plays soccer without a ball.
What the fuck is that?
And I pray to God that it was fake. I didn't watch it long
I
enough.
hope it is fake.
I pray to God, but I'm just like I was just watching that. I was like, God, this is like not far off. Like this could be real.
That's the sad thing.
Like I was watching this, and the whole time I was just like, please not be real, because the world we live in. Did you hear that, Adam?
It's playing soccer.
I watched a video about this.
Well, let him
like,
get in the
soccer-
mic for the
Oh, sorry.
reaction here.
I watched this video on Facebook, and like I said, I hope it's fake, but it was about this kid's soccer league that plays soccer without a ball.
I once watched a.
Not where I was.
He's like, he totally gets it. Like, he doesn't even phase him because he's like, yeah, fuck it.
I once watched a video about a basketball team that played basketball without using an actual ball for participation, and then these guys had the audacity to let a dog play. That's an Airbud joke.
I was going to say, are you talking about Airbud?
Sorry, but go on. I didn't mean to make a joke. I missed.
Well, that's the thing is like I that is probably why I've ended more up on the right is been able to, because I'm able to look at it this way. Both sides are corrupt. Both sides make really stupid decisions, and I'm with you on one aspect. I think I'm with you on. I feel like a lot of people are getting left behind right now, and a lot of people are hurting. At the same time, I think everybody on the left is not making anything any better because they're so fucking combative about
And they're so angry for no reason.
like I won't mention his name because he probably listened to this, but he's one of many. I have friends on my Facebook that are liberal that I think get a little too liberal sometimes. And what I mean by that is they freak out a little too much.
That's where I think the problem with the left is. So I'm talking about how I feel people are being left
I don't want
out.
to say anything bad about him. He's a good friend of mine. I just think sometimes he gets a little too
like I said,
worried.
I feel like a lot of people are being left out, and I feel like the left is taking that times 10. Like they're
Absolutely.
just, oh my god, you
Net
can't.
neutrality, when we had the discussion about that.
Oh, don't even talk
like
about net
everybody,
neutrality.
the sky was fucking falling,
We'll
dude.
get to that. Yeah.
Everything was awful, and I was talking. I'm like, you understand that the government is slow, and it's intentionally slow. I don't think any of this stuff's going to actually go into effect, or anything's going to happen. And it'll take a long time before it does. And I guarantee,
I signed a
by the time it does, the next administration is going to
I
come
hope
in
so.
and get rid of it. That's how government works.
Yes, that's how our government works.
Yeah.
The other
But,
governments are different. I
You
mean,
know,
Like,
yeah.
although then you could be in a situation like where the Republicans are, who've been sitting and waiting for like 6 fucking years to get rid of Obamacare and still can't do it because none of them can agree on anything.
That's okay. That's different.
Hold
That's
on.
different. Okay.
And a lot of that.
It still hasn't changed.
We just jumped right
But
into that.
a lot of the problem we're facing now is the Republican Party, which is what they do is they're like, okay, we're gonna talk about healthcare, right? But then they throw in a DACA bill. They throw in, some other.
They shut down the government
They-
to fight for that DACA bill.
They throw in a tax reform into a healthcare bill, and the Democrats are like, wait, no, we're talking about one thing. Quit trying to pass
and then
three
the
others.
some
was the
Republicans get
last
pissed at
bill?
other Republicans because they're not Republican enough.
What was the last bill that they tried to push, and people, the congressman said they
They
didn't
had
want
3 hours to read like a 1,000-page document.
Right.
It's like having. It's
Okay,
like when
so
your
here's how I
library
feel
book
about
is
the
due,
whole
like, oh,
healthcare
shit.
bill.
pay the overdue bill. Fuck, I gotta read this. I gotta fucking book.
I'm paying that.
So anybody,
$50.
so any of our random 2 fans who actually read this,
Actually, we do pretty good on
Who reads
Podbean.
this, Adam? Who reads this podcast?
Who reads this audio podcast?
Is there subtitles? Actually, are we being inclusive? Is there subtitles? Do we have
Oh
closed
yeah, we don't want to
captioning?
fucking piss off the deaf people that can't hear our podcast. Anyway,
Stop.
okay, first off, you guys,
If
they
you're,
can't hear me.
if you're gonna do that, you have to at least do a Lou Ferrigno voice.
okay, first off, you guys are,
Do you have a Lou?
you guys are assholes because you took a joke to make fun of me and you made fun of everybody else.
Well, they're deaf. They can't hear me, so I'm fine.
Do you have a Lou Ferrigno? Like,
It sounds like a special.
oh, but I just can't get over I love the movie I Love You, Man.
So good.
So good.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Underrated.
jumping back into healthcare. So, my personal favorite sitting congressman, well, technically he's senator, but whatever, one of those
Politician.
Yeah, right.
is John McCain.
I love John McCain.
Got shot in the face.
I don't care about that.
I'll just throw it out there.
He's not a war hero. He got captured.
Okay, and the
Fucking.
and the
That's
reason
our
I love him
Also,
is
that's a
because
ballsy move as any Republican to go after John McCain for as long as he's
Hey,
been around.
Republicans. God, now it's Blade Runner. Republicans.
what?
They're all robots. Republicans hate John McCain now.
I don't know what happened.
He
No,
he
because he's
stood
like-
up Donald Trump. That's what happened.
That's true.
It's also the thing of like, I'm sorry, we keep interrupting.
Yeah, sorry,
but
I'm
it's,
going.
Fuck you.
it's also probably the reason why you like him is because he's the guy that's like, hey, this isn't working. Let's not, like the healthcare thing. He voted no because it's like, it doesn't work. It's not applicable.
okay.
No.
The reason I like John McCain is because he's a career politician who is actually a career politician. A lot of career politicians, they cave to big business. They cave
Right.
to the Koch brothers. They cave to
Again?
George Soros.
That's why I like Trump. I hope
You mean
he
George
wouldn't cave.
Soros?
Yep. But Soros, yeah, whatever.
One of the Soros. Oh, George Soros.
Zorro 1, 2, or 3.
The
Zorro.
Antonio Banderas one.
George Soros, he's trying to make everybody hate each other. Black Lives Matter. Where's Zorro's plan? Fuck you, Alex Jones.
But okay.
Get out of here.
But yeah, with John McCain, I love the fact
I missed
that he walked away from brain surgery.
Yeah. Bandages still on his fucking face.
Came up and voted to continue the conversation to disband Obamacare. Of course, the left went fucking crazy. It was like, really? On our money, you're gonna get your brain fixed? You're gonna get your head
Take
fixed?
care of yourself? How dare you?
and then you're gonna say you want to repeal it? And then 3 days. Go on.
They're not on Obamacare. They have their own federal health.
Exactly.
Health
None of this
see,
applies.
that is why I also agree with the whole point.
Well, I mean, yes,
Put
they
them
are,
on.
but they're not wrong with the fact that our tax-paying money did.
Yeah, we're fine.
I mean, I'll give them that.
I will say, put them on our healthcare insurance, and I do agree that they
He's
will.
a senator, by the way, Senator Kane.
I will.
Like Kane.
I do think that if they had to have normal health insurance like the fucking rest of us,
Right.
they would fix it a lot faster.
Yes, I do. Yes, I completely agree with that. But, and then 3 days later, or whatever amount of time later, they voted to actually repeal Obamacare, and McCain was one of the few Republicans who said no.
Well, because they didn't have a good replacement.
There's been no good
Well, yes, and
replacement.
that's exactly the thing. It's like that's why I like McCain, because he's a
He
career
uses
politician.
and he uses common sense to say, if this doesn't work, we should not pass it just to pass it.
I'm not gonna say get rid of it, or I'm not gonna say keep it or get rid of it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna listen to the arguments.
And I think another thing that happened in the election that kind of sways us around is the fact that neither political parties are actually there's no Republicans. The modern Republican and the modern Democrat are not Democrats and Republicans anymore.
No.
They're these radical splintering of their party. Like,
They're so far to the
None
edges
of them
of.
really realize that.
no, none of them do.
They're
because
just
they're
so.
in it.
They're so far to the left.
They started it.
They're so far left and right now that I don't even know where I'm at.
The Tea Party movement completely changed the Republican Party. Like, all those guys behind that really turn that. I don't want to say upside down, but yeah, I'll say that they turned it upside down. They completely changed everything about it. And now you have these people in there that I don't think necessarily are racist, but certain people feel like they're getting left out, and they feel like maybe it's and everybody kind of takes everything's.
I mean,
it goes back to the whole joke that everything's racist, everything's sexist.
Well,
but you're starting to see certain people feel that way because they're getting left out.
At this point in my life, I'm about to be really starting my career, and I consider myself upper middle class, whatever you want to say. But I do come from a poor, lower middle class, not even middle class family, poor family.
Did you miss the sound of the door? I said, check your white privilege.
But
He's just a brush past.
thank you.
Oh yes, I'm sure I brought.
But like I said, I genuinely feel that politicians do not give a shit about me more than I ever have before in my political. In the time that I've spent, in the years that I've now,
the working class. Like
Yeah,
the people that are in it, starting the career, like
well, and like I
working,
said, like
grinding every day.
this new tax bill, it's
for
so
the rich.
It is so fucked. Sure, go ahead and give Bubba Joe $2,000 extra this year, but for the next 10 years. But then you're gonna just bend him over. Like, how is that really that good for me?
And I think that's what made Bernie so appealing.
I thought Bernie actually gave a shit about it.
And,
The people.
and Bernie seemed like he did fight for the middle class.
You disagree, Adam?
I mean,
Because he has 3 houses.
Does he?
Yeah. I can't argue that point. It's
I mean, I don't
say anything to Cardi B. I don't know. I think
I helped you.
the things. I think he came off as he cared. But we
don't know.
We really haven't gotten an opportunity to see what Bernie could do.
You're right. You're
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll give you that.
I'm a little paranoid on that. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's fair. No,
But I
I
think
would agree.
that's one reason, because all 3 of us knew that when he said free healthcare, free college, I'm like, there's no fucking way. And then there was a while when I was big on Bernie.
You were on the Bernie.
I believed in him.
You were sucking that dick.
And again, this is what I encourage people to do, and we just don't fucking do it
He
anymore.
believed in Bernie Sand.
You were feeling the burn.
I was feeling the burn, and then I felt the Johnson. But this is the thing that people don't fucking do anymore. and we need to do, and this is why we're in the situations we're in. You didn't have the same views as me. You and I didn't agree, but you know what
We
we
hate
did?
each other. No, that's how it works now.
Yeah,
we don't.
I hate you. No, you know what we did? Because we lived together, we were forced to kind of tolerate each other. We sat down, we had civil discussion about it. And the more I talked to you about this, the more I started to think more and more about it. And you and I were both on the same page where it's like, I don't want free college, I want affordable college. I don't want free healthcare, I want affordable healthcare. But people got that idea that they're going to get free stuff, and they were blinded by that. And then,
Now, yes. Okay, now what I want to say real quick is just on a segue to that. Anybody
very loud buzz.
Yeah, sorry about
anybody who doesn't vote on the way you want them to vote is not evil.
No.
Okay? And you're not
Republicans
going
aren't
to
evil.
change it unless you
I
have
was legitimately worried to tell a couple of my family members that I voted for Trump because of the things they post on Facebook. And
I was I had talking tos because of who I voted for.
really,
Yes. Now what I do want to say is the
Was it
fact
your
that
parents?
yeah,
who'd your mom vote for?
It was your mom. I knew your mom.
do you really want to know?
Johnson.
It was Trump.
My parents voted for Trump. Both of them did.
Oh, that's good.
Dad was during surgery, so he wrote into Trump, but he still voted for him.
Did your mom vote in for Trump because your dad couldn't?
No, they both voted for Trump.
Yeah. Did your dad vote for Trump because your mom filled in his ballot?
Conspiracy.
Racketeering. Is that is that racketeering?
Gerrymandering. He blew his mind.
I have to go.
I've got to go save my parents.
Dad!
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Sorry, I was
Scream.
I lost my original point because
Yeah,
You never thought about it that- you-
you totally derailed that too, because I'm trying to figure out the same thing.
you hadn't thought about that one, did you?
I didn't.
No, yeah, okay. So you said that.
Because in my mind it made sense that my dad would vote for Trump, but
I never thought of it that way. Just rocked your world. So yeah, you were saying that you had certain talking tos about it because he was talking about how he was worried about how he
yeah.
voted because how combative people
basically
are.
what I said is I know a lot of people get off social media during the election season. I know a lot of people don't talk to you about politics because it thinks they ruin friendships.
It does. It does now.
It does, but you're not going to change anything if you don't talk about it.
Exactly.
But you have to also be respectful.
Sure.
But at the same time, I hate that we live in a world that it does ruin friendships. People are just so angry and they vilify you instantly if you don't agree, and they think it. I mean, what's his? I know it's not the best example, but what did the Duck Dynasty his?
Oh yeah.
When he got fired, when he got he got his show kicked off of AE.
Right, but-
Phil Robertson.
Yeah, thank you, Phil Robinson, and
Good
he
pull.
he did have a good quote that basically said to. I'm butchering it and summing it up here, but he
paraphrasing.
Right. He basically said, "To disagree does not mean I hate you."
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
it-
Yeah, and he even said like in the quote that got him fired that he wasn't against it, he just didn't believe in it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with because of your religion not being okay with gay marriage. There's nothing wrong with that.
And yeah, there's nothing.
I don't agree with it, but it doesn't mean I think you're.
There's nothing wrong with being anti-abortion.
Guys, this is a crazy concept, but it's possible to not agree with someone and be civil about it.
You can't vilify someone for that. Like
And that's the thing that bothers me is like we shouldn't have to say this stuff. We shouldn't have to like talk about this and be like, go to someone who has a different political view from you and try and learn something from each other and not be total jerks about it. And that's, I've recently been guilty of doing that on Facebook, and I've had to stop myself and think.
There for a while, you were pretty intense in some of those Facebook.
yeah,
So it's with your uncle.
If you look at my Facebook memories from last year, I was pissed off, and I was posting about Trump like every day, just bitching about Trump.
Trent just posted that on my.
Oh yeah,
No, and then that was my thing.
nice. And like I was pissed. I was a very very angry person, and I recently had a discussion with my uncle about it, like going back and forth on Facebook, and then I just kind of at some point. I was like, this broke me down at a point where I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore, man. Like, this isn't how I should should conduct myself on social media, and this isn't how I should talk to someone with differing views than me. Because I love my uncle. My uncle and I get along very well, and we respect each other very much. we are just two totally different people, and we just have to learn to accept that we just will never agree on certain things, and that's okay.
Crazy.
I know it's a crazy concept to be like, and you know what? Like I said, I love my uncle. He means the world to me, and I respect him, and I think he's one of the hardest working men I've ever seen. But I don't agree with him at all politically, and I will fight him until my dying days about politics. But you know what? I enjoy it. I actually have fun.
I love arguing politics.
I do too. I think it's good.
He gets mad at me because he thinks I'm laughing at him because I'll be smiling and stuff.
Dude,
I'm like, no, you don't
watching-
understand. I enjoy this.
Dude,
I love
when
it.
I was at your family reunion watching you guys argue about that was the greatest thing ever.
It was entertaining because we were yelling top of our lungs. I was throwing my hat. I was so mad at him because I couldn't get across to him.
At one point, Jake yelled, "You want him to be Reagan so bad? He's not Reagan."
No. He's not Reagan, bro. I was a little drunk. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my god, it was.
I just want
And Mike is not
so great.
Mike doesn't drink. So
I just
he
want
was
JFK
like,
back.
Want to clear your
Okay,
head?
that was sad.
Just because he was Catholic, dude.
Hey, he started the relationship with the Vatican. Okay, look where we're at now.
Look where we're at now. He's a freaking pope.
I'm pretty sure every president up, except for I think
Are
every.
you gonna start a petition on Change.org to get JFK sainthood?
Even though he's dead.
I'm pretty sure every president
possible?
since Trump has, or since up until Obama has been to the Vatican. I don't know if Trump's been there yet.
I have no idea.
I want to say
I don't
almost.
know. I
I
don't
want to
think
say
he has.
majority or a good chunk of them have.
Everybody's been there, yeah.
I mean, I have no idea. Dude. I really haven't. I've never concerned
thing-
myself with that about.
And
That new hat.
I've had it for a while. I just usually wear it backwards.
Okay.
See, yeah.
I think we're missing. We're way off our original topic. Where do
no.
we feel like we are now?
No, I think it's actually been a good.
I
I
think
think
we're
this is all kind of leading into that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's where we're gonna start. So
This past 2 years has been fucking wild.
fucking wild. All right, so first thing,
It's been a roller coaster of emotion.
your first initial idea of the politician you were gonna vote for, Jake, go.
Like with Bernie?
Who you
first-
did vote for, or were.
The first person once everyone like at the beginning when you finally there's like 1,000 candidates.
Yeah, it was Bernie. I was Bernie all the way.
Bernie, okay, Gomez, yours.
I wanted it to be Jeb.
Was it yours? Mine was Jeb's.
I think it was, and then I quickly.
Okay, so
Realized.
then once
That really blew up in your face.
okay, so once the the candidate, the primaries and all that good stuff happened, who was yours?
Oh, well,
Jake.
after the. You mean like after the like once they announced the candidates, or
Once
Basically
they
right
had-
before that.
Once each
was-
primary had 3
it
candidates.
was Bernie up until the DNC.
I mean, at that point, mine was Trump because I knew there was nobody that was going to beat Hill Dog. Nobody could. No, there was no other strong Republican candidate that could have beat
Yeah,
him.
I don't think.
Mine was Jim Webb because he was mulling over going independent, and I was really hoping for that.
Fair enough.
I'm pretty sure Biden's.
You know,
running.
also, you know what? You know, our,
2020.
and now that we talk about where we are now, going into that election, I was like, all right, you know, Trump's going to win. We're going to have to deal with him for 4 years. And then Paul Ryan's going to run. And now I'm
I
kind
don't
of,
like Paul Ryan anymore.
He's
dude.
just-
I loved him.
yeah, I don't, I'm not, because I feel like he's just, which I understand you kind of have to be a bandwagoner no matter what. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he just kind of just totally didn't stick to what
If
he
you
was.
watch
anymore.
SOTU again, you'll see it as Donald Trump is just saying things as Pence is pulling the strings, and Ryan is the goblin who just agrees with everything. Like,
the Goblin.
the goblin.
He was in bed with a Goblin.
Oh no!
But like, I really was like really hopeful that Paul Ryan would have been, you know, kind of a hope for the Republican Party. You know, he was a young, strong candidate, and then now
he
just
had a really good chance with Romney, and then he never really.
capitalized. Yeah,
And
I liked Romney.
he felt.
But-
I still love Romney.
I was
But-
gonna vote Romney in 2012, but
That's the one we missed out on.
I missed that one.
I voted.
But
for
let's be
Romney.
honest. Anybody that was going
voted for
against
McCain.
anybody that was going against Obama was walking into a fucking buzzsaw. Nobody
Oh,
was going to
yeah.
beat Obama.
No,
He was a charismatic
I mean,
black dude.
you know, in
He's
hindsight,
the Morgan
and,
Freeman.
I hate to point out that he was black, but I think that played into it because for a while there hadn't been this strong of a black candidate for president.
well, he was locked in with. I shouldn't say locked in, but it helped with the demographic.
Sure, yeah.
But I mean, I was gonna say,
I don't want to.
Well, I don't want to derail us too far
Well,
from.
I'm not saying. Well, I'm just saying that I'm not saying that people only voted for him because he's black. That's not true.
and I will say
I'm
one
just saying he was
comment,
very
and then
charismatic.
Some people did,
there's one comment I would like to make
and
about
some
it.
people voted for Trump because he's white.
Exactly. Some people wanted that wall.
The one comment I will make about Obama in hindsight is I think he was a much better president in hindsight than I gave him credit for during the time, because I realized he was such a great, kind, charismatic leader. I might not agree with all his politics, but I think he represented the office very well.
He did. I mean, he failed.
Very respectable.
He failed a
Right.
few times. His foreign policy leaves a little less to be
Well, and the
admired.
drone strikes probably aren't that. Probably not a good.
Oh God, what was that Onion article? The Obama tearfully tells drone to leave.
But anyway, sorry.
He issued the most drone strikes as president.
Okay, so
fine.
either of
Oh,
you.
God, what's Trump gonna do?
Okay, now
got the football.
at this point, either of you. But to be fair, all three of us have admitted already who we voted for on this air. But either of you can say, you can omit your admission of who you voted for if you wanted to. But who did you vote for?
I mean, obviously, I voted for Trump, and
No, yeah, I mean, we are Gary Johnson. I don't. Are you asking if I regret it?
I do.
We're gonna get to that.
Oh.
That's the point.
You're in that group of Trumpers that. That's a terrible name. Trump supporters that have bias.
I call them
remorse.
trumpeters.
That's
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's better. Go
For
with
the,
that.
I think that's a good one for the people that still follow him.
Yeah.
I was, sorry, text. I also voted for Gary. My girlfriend voted for
Hell dog.
what?
Hell dog.
No, she actually voted for
Who else is there?
the other
Joe,
one.
not Jill Stein.
Jill Stein.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
All right.
Remember that guy that we
I'm
know?
throwing up in my mouth.
Okay, so now what I'm gonna
Ashley voted for
so,
Hillary.
So
Was
now
she
what
like
I'm gonna
one
ask,
of Jill
If you're
Stein?
asking,
Did Jill
Ashley,
Stein get more votes than Johnson?
no,
No,
not even
he
close.
crushed her.
Did he?
Yeah, I mean, if you're
That's
looking-
hard to
See
say.
how I say?
No.
Her. Like,
She got what did Gary get? Like 3.2,
yeah, he got like 3 million, 3.2 million, something like that.
3.2%.
No,
Because he had to
million.
get 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut up. Well, he got a decent number for.
I
a
think,
30.
I think Jill barely broke
Did she? Okay.
1%. Like,
It's a race, Gary.
But anyway, what's your next question? Is your
so-
next question, do we regret it?
yeah. How do you feel about your vote at this point? So I'm gonna start.
Also, if you're asking for
Okay.
hindsight, Ashley voted for Hillary.
Of course she did.
Ashley did not like Hillary though. She just really hated Trump.
Fair enough.
yeah, that's a lot of the reason
A
why.
lot of people did that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with probably the most.
I have a question after we get done with this one.
Okay, well I'm gonna start. Okay, I'm gonna start with the most exciting answer is Gomez because I'm pretty sure.
You guys don't. You guys don't have buyer's remorse. You're both your votes.
Hey,
serve
thanks
a
for
purpose.
answering our question for us.
Well,
Well, I said it right away. I don't.
but I mean, I do. I definitely. It did not pan out the way I had hoped. I
I
hope.
mean, you've already established.
Oh shit, my phone's going to die.
You've already established that why you regret it and why you voted for him. And
I mean, a lot of it is I expected a bigger change from what I have, and I feel like I got more of the same. And
you wanted him to drain the swamp.
I did, and
Yeah, he just made the swamp bigger.
and it wasn't even that I cared about who he brought in. I cared more about the actions that have come from it. The actions that have come from it are sure you're pushing certain agendas, but just his blatant not interest in science.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And it
so-
seemed to just like his approach to just do everything that the Democrats wanted. Let's do the opposite. Of it.
right.
And
And
my favorite cabinet post that he's done really highlights what he really wanted to do with his cabinet and with his administration, which is Mattis. And Mattis is a phenomenal position, by the way. Like Mattis, that's a great choice to get Mad Dog on your
yeah,
as your Secretary of Defense.
I was
That's
all
brilliant.
for Mattis.
No, Mattis is doing a great
Yeah.
job, but that really highlights on how much Trump cared about one specific aspect.
Right.
Of his
and I
administration.
do I am a big proponent of military, and I know a lot of people aren't, but at the same time it's like no one's gonna fuck with the kid with a big stick on the playground.
Well, my thing is,
Again, it comes down to the point if you appoint Mattis,
No one's gonna
if you appoint Mattis as defense and then you appoint Carson as HUD, we're pretty sure where your allegiance lies.
Well, it's
Right,
also
but-
the fact that you hire, is it Rick Santorum? No.
Oh God.
No, who's the guy in the EPA? Who's the guy running the EPA?
No, didn't they? Well, I mean, how many people?
Well, the guy that's running the EPA has sued the EPA because he wants to keep dumping waste into fucking.
and how many employees
lakes of water,
from the EPA?
like lakes.
How many employees from the EPA have quit already? Like, I think it's a pretty high number.
I don't think I've seen anybody leave this administration as much as people have. You hire the mooch for 11 days, and you get Steve Bannon. You bring in, who I think Steve Bannon probably thought he was gonna have more power than he did, and then you kick him out. Now you're calling him Sloppy Steve, and then you got all this stuff going on.
I guess I'm just so. I feel like, and I guess maybe I should
Why did I
have.
say Rick Santorum?
I don't know.
I
And
can't
maybe
remember.
I should have
Just mix up
expected it,
names.
but there's just been so much controversy and so many just ups and downs throughout this whole thing. I'm just over it.
The real question is, do you think you really fucked Stormy Daniels?
No.
Because she's saying that it didn't happen.
No, it totally.
But she
did.
But I'm
also-
like, nobody pays that much money
She also
for not sex.
she also is getting a lot more mainstream media than she ever did as a porn star.
yeah.
Well, it's
I mean,
just.
again, maybe she was.
Well, that's what I'm saying is nobody pays that kind of
Oh
money
no,
if
she
you
totally
don't fuck.
she totally banged him.
She probably didn't enjoy it, but it happened.
Okay, now my
any woman actually enjoys sex. Let's be honest.
now my question is the electoral college versus popular vote, because now
that came out of nowhere.
well, because we've now had a Republican election where it worked in our favor and one where it didn't.
Yes.
This seems,
So
but
thoughts,
like,
and I remember when
Well, that's the point of the electoral college. I mean, you should never go with the popular vote with a country as big as the United States. You
But-
know why?
but
Because
why?
then,
I know
because
why.
because then Texas, California.
like-minded areas.
Well, no.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? California would the Democrats would sweep California.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but the problem is the biggest states. They're not. Iowa's going to get swept out immediately from being the
Nebraska,
first state that
Iowa,
you,
they're going to mean nothing.
from being the first state that you actually campaign in.
Right. It's not going to mean anything.
Yeah, they're going to go straight to Texas. They're going to go to Iowa, California.
California, Florida,
They're going to go to the big population states.
Alaska.
I was going to say that. But the problem is all of us.
Just because it's the biggest.
all of us.
I'm glad somebody else got that. How many people actually live in Alaska? Like 8?
I don't.
It's like one family of
I know
10 people.
Okay, first off, I know like
And a
3
lot of
people
Huskies.
that do. So
I've heard it's really beautiful. Up there. I
know
don't know.
3 people that live in Alaska. Do they have electricity?
yeah, what do you think the Northern Lights?
That was pretty good. That was a lot better than I thought you were gonna do with that, Adam.
But anyway,
I've actually heard they pay you to live in certain parts of Alaska.
they'll pay you. To
Dude,
do
that
all
was
things.
just in the
How
Simpsons
How do you think
movie.
South Korea gets Olympic athletes?
Shut up, Adam.
That's I'm not wrong.
Dude, that was just in the Simpsons movie. Come on now. You guys never seen the Simpsons movie? But
No.
There's a thing where
No,
they moved to
we
Alaska.
got laid when that movie came out.
Also, how about the
I was
Simpsons
like 10,
predicting
so.
every? How about the Simpsons predicting every major event ever?
It's because it's
Time travel.
time travel. Yeah. We've got to accept the fact.
Did they
that Matt
get? Did they
Groening
get the
has
Super
it.
Bowl score right again?
No, that was a joke.
okay,
dude,
I-
that was obvious Photoshop. Are you kidding
I
me?
do. I didn't pay attention. I don't
What are you? What are you not into?
What are you not in the know?
I really don't pay attention to Simpsons, but I just would have been weird. Maybe.
Saying?
So, my last question, with way off rail as we've gone,
It's fine. We can just stop
If
here and
you-
make another episode.
if you could have voted for someone else, who would it have been? Jake?
We're talking like perfect world situation or what?
Bernie.
No, for the candidates. Well, any
What we
candidate,
had.
any candidate that was,
Running.
yeah,
Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie.
Bernie,
Bernie, 100%.
Bernie.
Or if Joe Biden's kid didn't die, Joe Biden ran. Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, yeah, Biden. I would go Biden.
I think he's looking. The interviews he's been doing, it looks like he's going in 2020.
Honestly, my one.
I'm sorry. I think he would fucking crush Trump in 2020.
Oh yeah, that's
Anyway.
not a question.
I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn between Bush.
I swear to God, Adam.
Let Jeb out of this.
Adam, he was the least pragmatic candidate.
That is not even close to
Who was
truth.
worse at debating than him?
Carson.
Carson. Because he was asleep half the time.
Fine.
Oh, God, we were debating right now. Dude didn't even know how to walk onto the fucking stage. Did you see that?
I don't understand.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. And then the look that Carson or the Bush gave Trump. The fucking death glare.
I just want to know how he's so smart. The man can cut open a brain.
He can cut up a brain that is connected to another brain and have two functioning adults, and then
Can't walk on a stage. And doesn't know what
Can't figure out how to walk up to a fucking podium.
I really wanted him to be so much better.
I can't. I can't.
I know, right? It's like, it's unbelievable how someone could be so smart in one area and so terrible in the other.
I don't know.
What,
I mean,
who
maybe
is like, dude, you know how the human brain works. You should get into politics.
Ben, what are you doing?
You've been cutting open scalps. Now it's time to cut open
What if he
hearts.
lost a bet?
He lost a bet and he had to run?
Oh my god! If,
They're just sitting around like, oh man.
if that's true, I would have so much more respect for him.
I gotta say though, I want the painting that he has, him and Black Jesus. Have you seen it?
No.
It's fucking amazing.
You know what movie I did watch?
Adam knows what I'm talking about.
I did just watch the movie. What is it with Robin Williams?
Too much.
What is the presidential movie with Robin Williams? It's
Oh, a Man of the Year.
Man of the Year.
Nightmare
Fantastic.
before Nightmare at the Museum.
Did you say Nightmare at the Museum?
Man of the Year.
Oh, Ben Carson.
Ben Carson in the Nightmare at the Museum.
At the museum because he's Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh my God! Do you guys remember? We should just do a podcast of like fucking Ben Carson's greatest hits. Do you remember when like he talked about how he had a rough life about stabbing a dude or some shit, and it was just like clearly made up on the spot.
No, I missed that one.
Stabbing a dude in his belt buckle or something. I don't know. Fucking Ben Carson. He had so many.
Maybe that's why he's HUD now.
Okay, a brain surgeon knows how to do housing and development. Oh my gosh. I just like how I feel about this, where I'm at with midterms. I want to vote in a way where I want things to be normal again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we'll ever be normal again.
That's why I really wish we did have the 3-party system now, because the 2 parties are just so fucked left and right that we need some like game changers.
We are seeing that people are starting to vote with decency. We are seeing that people are starting, like Alabama is a prime example where they didn't go for Roy Moore, and we're starting to see more of that. And I hope it continues in these midterms. I think where I am now, I'm in a weird place of the middle, but
Same.
socially I'm very much more leaning right, but I think politically I'm still leaning a little bit more left. And I can only hope for the best. I hope people... What I want to stress out more than anything is I want people to start voting with their conscience and their mind instead of voting for their party. Because I think that happens. It's been happening forever, and I don't.
We are seeing that a lot more with millennials, according to a recent study.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think we need. And I think we need to understand.
I
Just
cannot cite the source, but
I mean, like I said earlier, I would have voted against my party for the better candidate.
Yeah, I've never had an allegiance, so I've been able to cheat and do that. But which kind of, I mean, it makes sense that if you're a registered independent, you can't vote in primaries, but it kind of sucks. But I get it. I get why they do that.
that is the whole reason that I vote for, or that I register as Republican. So
you can vote in primary. Yeah, yeah. Which it kind of sucks. Which I might just register one.
Well, it really sucks because we live in Nebraska. Because at that point, I don't really get a choice.
Well, yeah.
In
Party line.
the last comment I'll make about this is not only the thing I'm also sick of is the not my president.
Stop with that shit.
Because you know what, I'm
not.
not happy with how things have turned out. I'm not, but I hope every day that he does something good and that something good comes from the presidency, and I will do what I can to support him because he is my leader.
Okay, but it did take you until he was out of office to actually like Obama.
Not saying that's bad. I mean, I didn't realize the things he did. Hindsight is 20/20.
Sure.
But and I think that maybe is affecting my attitude now, where I'm just asking people to, yes, he is not maybe who you voted for your candidate. He was not my ideal candidate at this point, but I still hope that he has a good presidency and good things come from it, and he has my support.
You shouldn't root for him to fail.
Right. He's the leader.
We're
of
all
our
on the
country.
same team here.
Because if he fails, millions of other people will suffer.
Yeah.
We need him to perform well.
Okay, this is a really bad joke, and I apologize. And it's way off subject. But Jake, Does Gomez does not look like he's showing up to recruit me to be a Nebraska State
He is wearing a Nebraska windbreaker. Unrelated.
It was signing day or
But
something.
yes,
Frost
yes,
effect. No, yeah. I mean, that's what I hope for, and that's what I'm kind of doing in the midterms. And I'm going to vote in the midterms, and I've never voted in the midterms, but I will do that, and I will vote what I think is right. And I don't like Trump. I never will like Trump, but I'm also not on this
we also
whole-
root for his success. I'm never going to root for a president's failure because obviously if he fails,
We're all on the same team, dude. We're all Americans, and we all need the president to be successful. And at the same time, it's like I'm not going to join this. First of all, I hope by the midterms are done, we can stop fucking saying fake news because that drives me up a fucking wall.
Fake news board.
But and there's another thing too. The media needs to stop attacking Trump the way they do because they're making him a sympathetic victim.
Okay, that yes, but Trump also needs to stop attacking the media.
Also,
They both need to just leave each other
the
alone.
best thing that has come out of this
The
presidency.
media can't.
Well, no, they have to keep him in check, but but at the same time, they don't need to constantly just keep. Does he have fucking dementia? Look how he's holding this water bottle. Look at this little thing and that little thing and this little thing.
The best-
like stop.
The best thing
And they did it for every. They do it for every president.
best
It's just
thing
annoying.
that has come out of this presidency is that Trump gif where he's just like looks left, looks right, and just purses his lips and shakes his head.
Oh, that's that's the one that's that's the when someone someone says that you're someone
It's been put on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's
the one where you like
fucking
smack. Yeah. He's a gift machine. I'll give him that. He's a meme machine.
But God, I wish somebody would take him off Twitter.
So yeah, be better to each other, and if you're gonna have a conversation, be constructive. Don't yell at each other. I was that guy. I've been that guy.
You were that guy. We couldn't talk about politics for a long time.
I've very much been that guy, and I don't like
And-
being that guy anymore.
I'm just going to throw this out there. This is the midterm on 2020 to if you want to give another third party 5%, probably your best chance.
Make your and that's the thing is
And please remember your vote does count.
just because it didn't go your
You live in
way.
Nebraska.
Yeah, that's the thing is what people said immediately after the election. It didn't go the way you wanted. Change. Make a change. Go vote. Get in the polls. Make the changes now. Make the changes in 2 years. You got to do that. Be good to each other. This has been the Morning Hangover. I don't even know what episode it is. at this point.
Episode 35 about politics.
Episode 35. Well, whenever you're here, we only talk about politics. Because I like talking about politics with you guys. You're the only people that I can talk to where it doesn't get into a shouting match. This is one of the shows.
To be fair, it is really fun when you talk to Trent about politics.
Oh, I don't know if I
Oh
can
man,
do
you
it.
name dropped
Or
him. I kept his name out of it. I might have to beep it. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the show. If you want to listen to this or any other show that I do with my friends, it is on the Gorilla Media Network. It's all on one RSS feed, easy to find. If you don't, it's on Google Play Music. It's going to be up on iTunes soon. You can also go to gorillamedianetwork.podbean.com and you can subscribe there and like us and tell us we're great.
I was working Fox News today.